I was going to say, I can.
Wow.
Got it. Tuesday and the one there. When which that's pretty much. Yeah, I went to guys yesterday's class. Yes. Yesterday, I've never seen you one day, yeah. It's like that, it's like I want to keep with so yeah. So this is very bad. Okay, so I appreciate that. He seems like that. Professor goes something to continue to retire. She didn't know how to act, but do as you. I was on my phone with the fire. Yeah, it really is. There's just a little bit of like whatever time. Yeah. How long for that one? Are you going on that? So many things. Yeah. I feel like I'm like 1 5 for each day. Like maybe 4 5. Yeah, like they're all the same. Like there's nothing. Oh, I see. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like and also like from there for the one that went early. Yeah, that was also the first one. Yeah. You were not. No, I don't. Credit. And no, it's. Oh, okay. Reflections. Oh, so it was 1 for 3. Yes. It's perfect. But reflective, they're like, they're like, there's only 3, so they're not doing. But we do have in comments. We do it here when we do it. You read it only right here. Oh, it's not done. How many chapters do you do? 1, 2, and 3. Today? No. Okay. What's Hold on, but I didn't know. So my you're right, Emma. We might have. But I think it's. And someone else from here. It's been a while. I'm looking for my email to be confirmed. Haven't heard about it, but you guys stop whatever we're doing for 2 minutes and then continue. So, the first class was really mostly in oh, a long way. That's what I really love about that. Someone that they show up, the report. Okay. This is Emily. You want to go to the no. This is Emily, the tutor, which means she did the course very successfully. 2 semesters ago, it was my tutor. And I had no tutor for like 4 semesters, but I was panicking. I was doing everything myself. So I let Emily tell you what she does and how the profession does. She is wonderful. You will be happy to learn it. It's like getting into my brain. Go ahead, Emily.
So as Dr. Mason said, I am the web tutor for
It's up to that for you?
no, that's fine. So I did take class with them, and I'm tutoring for you guys. It is completely free, and I'm located in the life support board.
Free for you, the university.
Yeah. So what I focus on is just the kind that we have. So right side, any questions that you have, or the walk guidance, right stuff, we can definitely and help with drafting, as well. The only thing is that I will not edit or work. It's kind of collaborative. So you come in with your ideas, and from my ideas, but it's really up to you to write your own words. That's all the editing. So like I said, the tutoring for learning professors is in the library for sure. And way can be with me or with any of the writing tutor or teaching math or teaching math as well. You can either call us at, I don't know.
Yeah, that's something to help those things work. Just know what to write.
Oh. So you can call us at 773 442 4568 or 773
Wait a minute.
okay.
Or
773 442 4492. You can Google chat at LC chat.
LSC. That's what?
That's it. It's just like that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And then you can just walk in as well. You can just come to the fourth floor. Oh,
it will dry up. Oh.
You can come to the fourth floor, meet with someone at the front desk, and then just ask, I would like to meet with the your student for 215, and then they could give you available days that I'm available, or if I'm in at that day, walk in. something. Yeah. So
You want me to write it down?
so I'm available on Wednesday.
So Wednesday,
9:30
two,
1:30. And then Friday from 12 to. And then you can meet me in person or you can meet me online. When you do make that appointment, she'll ask if you want to meet in person or online. We can do either or, whatever you're comfortable.
this is a service, the university has a whole department for it. With employees that are being paid, you know what, the director or something? Yeah, and these volunteer students, they are just from every class, they did well, they go there, they plan their schedules, and you're also taking classes.
Yeah.
You shouldn't forget that. They're also students. These are not employees, they're students doing the tutoring. So it's a service that is really, really helpful. Most of the time, students do not use it, but when they don't use it, and if they needed it, then the results at the end will show. I encourage you to contact her, to have the contact information and the schedule. Plus, you get points when you. She knows all the assignments that you're doing. She did them, so she knows the details of that. What she will not do is do them for you or plan them for you, but is that right? But you will kind of discuss them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. When tutoring used to be side by side in the library, what the director told me was that the student would have their work working on it, and you would have a copy of that. The tutor would have a copy of that, and just talking, but you wouldn't do anything to their work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So it's not about editing. It's not about making it better for a grade. No, you have to earn the grade on your own, but she's going to help you in the process of finding out. Question. I think the last week assignment is the hardest. Or the easiest.
I was just thinking, I didn't know if that was appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's in your opinion, the hardest assignment?
Oh, the journal article skills. Yeah. But if you look for those articles early, the first one is on infant and toddler. The second one is on preschool. The infant and toddler one, most likely, it can include information about the language, because there's a lot of information very said at that age. If you look for those articles early, and then the only thing that remains is for you to summarize them and submit it because you panic when you are looking for the articles and they're due the following week. That's when it happens. Good question. Other than that, no problem. But you want to know how long the business can be?
Or for instance, like if those two dates don't work, because like is there any? Yeah.
So if I make an appointment, and then I'll email you back, and then you can schedule outside.
Now, you should also know that when you make an appointment, when you contact make an appointment, And I think after you meet with the student, when does it come to me? Because automatically the system generates something to tell me that you have been in contact with the tutor for how long and what the issue was, what we were talking about. So that comes to me and that's when you get the point. You go first time, you get 10 points. You go the second time, you get another 10 points. And believe me, sometimes they save the point. Yes. Is it when they contact you or is it after you meet?
It's after,
Okay.
and I think my director sent it out.
No, that's a system generated. Yeah, I'm talking about the system with the automatic one that comes to you. Or maybe she releases. that
Yeah.
system. Okay. Yeah. So I will know if you don't need to email me saying that you've made it to that. Don't come to me. Do you know anything about the Center for Academic Writing or is it the first time you're hearing about it? CAW. Fourth floor, right?
Yeah.
First time? You've been here semester already? It's a service you should know. It's for students. It's for students. There's all kinds of resources. And the library too has resources. I know there's it from home and you can just have just about everything from home. But once in a while, it can pop up in the library. There's anything else? All right. I hope you get to see Emily and benefit in terms of the point and also in terms of the assignments in an informed way. Thank you so much, Emily, for coming. Please use this service. That's for you. We might have some issues in the library. It's not in the library.
On the same floor as the tutor. It's on the other side of the of the tutor on the other side. Yeah, fourth floor.
Okay, so today I want to start in the way that we translate learning. Chapter 1. Chapter 3, for those of you who want to grab my hand. So that's correct. Chapter 2, all of them. Those who want to run can run. Those who want to walk, walk. Those who want to fall, they will fall. But all the materials are there. So we're going to start with the reflective journal writing. This is your first journal entry, and the writing process is supposed to be enjoyable, relaxing, very, very calming. It's just so when you start writing, as long as you have your points, in order, the writing process is just so easy. And that is what we're trying to instill in students. So you enjoy writing. You write to learn, but also you're learning to write. And this is you're writing in regular English, standard regular English, but because it's a journal entry and it is not the final version that will submit to me, it doesn't have to be perfect. But when you're pulling all of them together for submitting the first time, when is the first time the journal is due? Sorry? Thank you so much. At that time, then you pull all your entries and write them nicely so that the reader can understand. And that's when you really worry about, formatting. If you format early, that's fine too. About the details, so that you don't lose any point. And I don't give you a scoring guide because my scoring guides are very to the point. If I did that, I would control how you write. But writing is supposed to flow your style. So I'm inviting everybody to go to page 9 of the syllabus, please, for just about a minute. and see how the reflective journal entries are supposed to be done. At this time, you have maybe 3 or 4 points from chapter one, bulleted somewhere, there, put a folder. Now you're expanding, each one of those points. You're going to use entire 15 minutes for the writing process. It's quiet, it's non-disturbing. The only thing that happens is writing. It's not time to read, it's time to write. So let's start right now for the next 15 minutes for your first journal entry. If you make it informative and detailed, when you enter about 3 of them, you'll have enough for the first journal and then study. So let's get started. have 2 minutes left. When you want to write your entry, everybody can come down. And I hope that is not the next class and it's going to come in the morning. But when we meet again next week. So, the next day, you can write something that helps you remember quickly when you come back to it, so you don't think really fast back over. You want to do that? You can write a very simple easy sentence and we get to complete our writing. I think it will complete. So when I come back, you just take it and then I'll put it back. Or you can ask something. When you come back, you can answer that question, you can write it to your respective thinking. So find a way to use that any loose ends that writing. Come back. Thank you. And you can call your reflective from when you turn it in, you can call it in. I know it is chapter 1 to 3 you're reflecting on, but you can find a phrase in those chapters or just point something that really takes your mind and give it like the title, journal 1. I know it is chapter 1 to 3 and you can say the brand 3, but you can use another name. Personalize it because it is your learning. You're documenting your own learning. That's yeah.
We don't have to write whenever we are planning the final paper. So we don't have to write like chapter wise, or it's a full brief summary of all the 3 chapters together.
It's one paper, chapter 1 to 3, and you can organize. That's a question. You can organize it however you want. You can go by chapter, let's say chapter 1, and then and elaborate on that. Or you can pick, let's say, phonics, phonemic development from chapter 1 and 2 and 3, and learn this much about phonemic development. Syntactic development from chapter 1, 2, and 3, and learn about this, and these are the examples if you like. You can organize it by chapter or by learning. Either way, it's fine. Personalize it. That's why I don't even have a scoring rubric for it. Because I really want it to be personal. I want you to personalize it in ways that make sense. Okay, so just about now. So the next. The next thing I want to talk about is your perception of assignment. You have had a chance to do the syllabus. You're probably got a little bit more of the assignments. You have pictured yourself with the assignment. Now that Emily has come to know about it now, I want you to go back to the syllabus in a nutshell. What does the course look like? In terms of the assignment, questions, because I want to, at some point, I have to work before next week again. I have to officiate the syllabus, make it official. official one, I already found one typo. If you find another, I hate when that's something to the process. And then I realized that I was start from one issue. So, what questions do you have about the syllabus, about assignments? Anything that I can talk about to help you feel, well studied. Oh,
I,
sorry, the names are okay.
I have my events set for the storybook
Oh, nice.
observation. I wanted to ask you, you would recommend me a good time to maybe like start a meeting, or I have like, chatted with mom and also got sub forms figured out, but like meeting and starting, I'm trying to find like a good point in like the assignments. of the
Thank you for-
semester.
Thank you for being a lead pointer for that. You have your consent form signed or signed, please. When it is signed, you drop it in the box. Then you can go ahead and start. In fact, start early. Start early because this project takes time. Next time you observe the child, you read about it, you think about it, you prepare your presentation, you present, and then you write it up, you submit, you see, it's due way later. But you have to start now. So when you're ready, Katia, please go ahead and start. Just make sure that you have the consent form signed. And actually, by end of next week's class, you'll sign up for when you do your presentation and have it on your calendar. As I said earlier, last week, it's about 8 or so slides because you're going to be focusing on the 5 aspects of language knowledge, which we're going to get today. So if you have those 5 slides, one for phonics, another one for semantics, another one for syntax, another for morphemes and pragmatics. So that side, you have one introductory, maybe you have another one for your name on it, or maybe you have examples. Students, the video right there on the slide. It's very easy to do, I believe. The slide is right there where it has the summary, which works very well. Then you can have maybe, yeah, I would say try not to go beyond 10 slides, even 10. I'll think about 8. Some people can do it in 6, depending on how precise you are in your number. So start early, get the consent form signed, do the observation, and just get started.
And the only other thing I wanted to ask about the consent forms, the infant toddler one says there should be an audio or video recording.
Yes, that's required.
And for the preschool one?
No, no recording, absolutely nothing, just notes.
Okay.
Just notes, and the preschool one is like way later. Don't worry about the preschool one right now. Even if you do, we are going to keep those notes until later because we want to discuss in stages, infant, toddler, then preschool, then secondary. You can do it now if you want. If it is easier, that's fine. Just keep your notes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. It's really good to just get ahead of things and do things earlier. You know why? When you get stuck, it's time to ask them. The worst thing is to rush to finish an assignment because there's no time, much time left, and actually you have no clear idea of how it is done. Some people even forget the scoring guide is right down each one. So they do something totally different. How do you get the point? Read the description of the syllabus. That's a really good starting point. Discuss in class, ask questions, the way we're doing right now, and those questions are very helpful. Look at the scoring rubric. The scoring rubric tells you in detail how you get 100% of the points. The scoring rubric tells you exactly how you get all the points. That's why I told you last week that right now your grade is A because you haven't started leaking yet until you poke holes in it by not looking at the scoring guide or by not reading the instructions on the syllabus or by rushing and doing it overnight to stay up the whole night finishing the final for tomorrow. That is definitely a no. But I know. Yeah, please.
So I think, and the principal and what he were sent home to the parents. So what kind of story, like when the caregiver
child, like what is the best way that the child can interact to the caregiver so that we can record as much details for our assignment?
That's a really good question. The assignment has a lot of flexibility. It's not an elastic. It can be that much recording or that much. The point is, you only need evidence of speech sounds, consonants and vowels, evidence of some sort of perception or the meaning of something, okay? A concept, a bottle, a toy, the child, this is the child. We're not interested in the adult speaking, you or the character. No, only the child will be the child sound, child understanding of meaning of something. Anything the child says, more. You know, for children, for example, more is the whole sentence. Give me more, right? So most of it as you learn, you realize that you can actually discuss the receptive rather than the actual syntax or grammar, because they don't have grammar. But you can, when they say more, when they say no, the implication is no, I don't want this or no, I don't want that. But the pragmatic will be sometimes just want to close the book. That's pragmatic. It's something is within the context. Or when they even when they threw a book away, they throw a book away, or they select a book to read. Now, coming back to your question about what do they give in, these are infants. Some of them are, I suggested like 6 months, because when they're very young, you don't get much. When you are writing in the picture, you pull out your hair, you don't find anything to write about. So a little older is better, but do not go beyond 2.5 years. Never. That's a zero, because that disqualifies the assignment completely. Don't go beyond 2 years. In fact, I would stop at 2 years. So given that young age, what would they be doing? Because the parent is sharing the book with the child. It is more book sharing than book reading. It's more sharing. Just the attention, the parents or guardians' attention to the child and to the book. That triangle is very important. Caregiver, book, child. Caregiver, book, child. So the child notices the interest, maybe most times they want to read that the child is familiar with. The child is interested in pictures, he's studying the pages, he's throwing out this book and getting another book. That's all okay. You're focusing on the sounds and actions of the baby. So the sounds will give you the 5 aspects. Other actions will help inform whatever is happening within them. And they choose books, don't choose books for them. They like familiar books so that the child is familiar. You can see sometimes parents holding the child, forcing them to read, and the child, they want to go, they want to just leave them and interest them. And you can tell probably they never read to them, and that's not a problem. That's okay. They're not interested in that. They're not policing them, whether they read the children or not. You're just recording what is happening. Okay. Any more questions about that project? That project starts early and it goes almost to, when is it due? The final paper is in April. You can, yeah, and that's why students put it aside, they put it away, not knowing there are steps to it. In between, there is the observation. Maybe you go the first time the child is asleep. Oh, when can you reschedule this? Oh, next week I'm busy, come the week after. Okay, you go again and the baby, doesn't say much. Oh, come at the time. Somebody may go once and get enough. Because even recording for just 5 minutes is a lot of recording. But for young children who might not be doing much, maybe half an hour, maybe 20 minutes, it's up to you to decide when you think you have obtained enough for your presentation and your paper. Focusing on the 5 aspects of language. What are they again? Phonemes, it is speech sounds. Right. Semantics, which means what? Well, utterances are just what's coming out of the mouth. Meaning of those utterances. Syntax, what is syntax? Structure or grammar. Morphemes, Units of morphemes are units of meaning in one word. Sorry? No, morphemes are units within a word. We're going to do something about it today. And the last one is pragmatics. As long as you describe those, I get a sense when I'm watching you present, I get a sense that you understand that clearly what it means. Plus, you show examples of the child exhibiting those. You have phonemic development, and then you play your video. The child is you got the sounds right there. Okay. Semantic development. You have the child that's ooh, wow, right? You got it right there. If not, maybe it is receptive. You go to syntax, to morphemes and pragmatics. If not expressive, then it's probably receptive. That's okay, but if the child is too young, again, you may not have enough. That's why I suggest between 6, 8 months, so all the way to years. That's 4 years, please not too much, because then they're closer to preschool, and that's why we have different. Thank you for those wonderful questions. I'm sure they help us, right? Okay. You feel comfortable? So start as soon as that. Yes, no, that's fine. The only thing I have, I say no to is your own child. Okay. Do not observe your own child because you'll be observing from your brain. You've known that child before they were born, so you don't want to observe them. Within the family, extended family, that's fine. Classroom, that's fine. Friends, that's fine. I used to require this observation to be done in classrooms, but it became so hard for teachers to allow my students to get in to report someone. So I opened it up and allowed the extended family to be. No questions. Right, there are many steps along the way. Because you're not writing the paper until you present and you get questions from your classmates, you answer them, then you go write your paper and submit. And there isn't much time between presentation and writing the paper. And as I said, by end of class next week, you will sign up for the paper. Okay? If another question comes to mind, please write it down so that before end of class you ask. Okay, let's review real quick. We know what language is. Real quick, what is the answer? That's thing we use to say things to other people, right? What is language? It is a system. It is a system of communication. Why do we say a system? Well, okay, communication can be verbal or non-verbal. It's a system because it serves people. Yes, it serves a lot of people. It is a system. If it was not a system, I would have my own version. You would have your own version. But because it's a system, I'm speaking, and those waves are hitting your brain, and you're actually making sense of what I'm saying. Okay, so it's a system that is shared, but not that it's a system of communication, and that communication does not have to be verbal. It can be non-verbal, gesture, and other ways of communication. What is speech? Okay, verbal system of communication, verbal production of language, as long as you're implying using the speech apparatus, which I hope we get to tonight. What about communication? What is it? Exchange of messages, but we want it to be exchange of meanings, we want it to be exchange of intents. Well, communication sometimes is not perfect. You tell somebody something, they don't get it, you're still trying to communicate. Communication is perfect when the intent is received. For example, if I say, oh, it's hot in here. Well, yeah, that's communication. Yeah, she thinks it's hot. But someone else stands on the fan. See the intention? So that, communication is perfect when the intent is achieved. But not all communication gets there. So it can be the words, that's not communication, just sounds, or getting some meaningful sentence like you're listening to me now and processing it. And how do I know that communication is working between me and you guys? So I keep asking questions all the time. I want that exchange of speaker and listener. Speaker becomes listener, listener becomes speaker. Communication loop. You already learned the concept there. We know what role language plays in our lives. We did that game last week. And is there anything you can do that does not communicate? Everything you do communicates. Whatever you do, you communicate something. It doesn't have to be the correct one. Someone does not have to get the correct meaning you're trying to communicate. However, it communicates anyway. So these are the 5 aspects of language knowledge. This whole course is really about language development and educational implications. You as teachers, knowing that process of language development, how is that going to help you as a teacher work with young children in ways that help enhance their language? And luckily, there's so much information. As I said, brain research in the last 40, 50 years has just bombarded educational information that there is so much of it, you really have to know to look for in order to benefit. So for the whole course, these are the backbones of the course. By the end of this course, you're going to know this is your 5 fingers on there. Okay. We'll talk about speech sounds. I hope you get to them. Phonology is actually this. Anything ology is the study of something, right? So phonemes, those are speech sounds. And when you're talking about developing speech sounds, you're talking about phonemic development, okay? Syntactic development, semantic development, pragmatic development, morphemic development. So use of language too when you're writing. Sometimes I see slides with a presentation of phonemic, and that's it. That's the title of the slide. Phonemic. Phonemic what? That's an adjective, right? Oh, phonemic development of the child. That's what they're talking about. And then, for example, so let's speak some. So this is the backbone of the course, and that's why I start with it, and we keep coming back to it. You will see that the book keeps coming back to it in every chapter. It was written by someone from our program, I told you that, and it has been used for a very long time now. Over 20 years, and actually it has been translated in quite a few languages around the world. So if you don't have it, please get it. So a little bit more detail. Sound system of human languages. Why do I even bother including? We know that the phoneme is the smallest unit of sound, as in or cat has 3 sounds. Okay. And phonology is a study of that system different from the writing system. Okay. Why do we even bother to mention humans here? Do animals have language? Do animals communicate? Yes, they do. Do they have language? They have some means they communicate. You can call it language. Do they have speech? No. Speech is uniquely human. Speech is specific to humans. Speech is uniquely human. I know your cat says meow, meow, you give it something, or your dog, woof, woof, oh, my dog talks to me. No. Your dog kind of sends messages the best that they can to you. That is not speech. You can call it language. They certainly communicate, but dogs do not have speech like humans do. So when we study semantics, what do? We are thinking of the meanings embedded in utterances. Okay, it could be words, could be phrases, simple sentences, complex sentences, or things flying so far. Can be direct or indirect. Like I said, I can say, oh, it's hot in here. Someone else, oh yeah, that's a message. Someone else turns on, the fan or the air conditioning. The meaning, what meaning do they get from what you say or from what you do, from what you communicate? For young children, it's essentially vocabulary. For them, it's meanings of words. What words mean? They know a few words. They know dada, they know papa, they know mama. Mama is so universal. That's why we love it. So for them, it's mostly vocabulary. Grammar is not so much where you're going to find it a little difficult when you're trying to get examples of syntactic developments from that recording, be it visual, audio or video. But remember that the child is receiving syntactic utterances that are structured in correct grammar all the time. Children are receiving that all the time because when the parent is reading or when people speak, you use complete sentences. And that is why good language models are very, very important around children. They absorb them, and at some point, they start using. Before we go to morphology, I just have to highlight this real quickly. I want to go back to syntax. When I'm talking about sentence structure, simple, embedded, and so forth, think of SV structure. She eats. He walks. They come. That's the sentence. Okay. I'm writing. I'm reading. That's the sentence. Subject and verb, right? Or it can be subject, verb, object. I'm reading a book. She's eating food. Or it can be S, B, O, O. One of these is indirect and the other one is direct. Direct, I put this is direct. Okay. She eats. She is eating food. She is eating food with a spoon. Does that make sense? You see that stretch? Okay. She eats. She is eating food. She is eating food with a spoon. These are objects. Both of these are objects. One is food, the other one is something to eat. Or it can be S, V, O, A. This is an adverbial. For example, she is eating food quickly. So describe the manner of the verb. Or she is eating quietly. There is no object. I just wanted to know that there are different ways of organizing the structure. Basically, it's remember, sometimes in some cultures it's subject predicate, but it's actually subject verb or verb. What's it? She eats. The verb go was the object. When there are two objects, okay. She, subject, is eating verb. Food is the direct object she's eating. Okay. Spoon is the indirect object she's using to eat the food. The food. Right. So actually there are 7 of them. 2 of them. You don't need that detail. Just want to bring the picture. You learn that in some data. But that's what we mean by sentence structure. Oh. Yeah, this is good. Well, now for simple sentences, subject, verb, object, of course, it's very simple. Subject, object, adverbial clause, yeah, that's it. Could be S, V, O, A. She is eating food with a spoon in some manner. So I think there are 7 of them, but you don't need to get that. As long as you know what it means. Look at these sentences. Is that grammatically correct? Is that grammatically correct? Is that grammatically correct?
Yeah.
Which structure is it? SVO, that's correct. This is grammatically correct. What's wrong with it? SVO, okay, that is the subject, that's the main verb, and that is the object. SVO. It just doesn't make sense to you, right? That is the system. In your system, say, no, the banana cannot eat the goat. But grammatically, it's okay. I'm not saying write nonsensical sentences. I just want to draw attention to the term. Now it's more formal. Walk is one standalone morpheme. Walking has how many morphemes? 2. Sleep is one standalone morpheme. Sleepy, how many? Sleepingly. Okay. Care, 1. That's standalone morpheme. Careful, carefully. Okay. Constitution, 4. Isn't sure what they are. Constitution, that's a big word. Yeah, you know what constitution is. Is constitution 1 or 2? It's 1. Something, right? Constitution, oh, there is. Constitutional, constitutionally, unconstitutionally. All right, now challenge me. Write a word with 5 morphemes. Do it now. 60 seconds. Actually, what just came to mind, but not done. You have to find your own. You're writing one word with 5 morphemes. And how do you get morphemes from down? When you find it, let me know. If it throws me out of my presentation, that's fine. This is on D12 to learn about morpheme structure, morpheme classification. So you see the standalone ones. I got it from my book, this is at the bottom. So you see the 3 morphemes, the standalones, can be free or bound. And the bound are subdivided into derivational or inflectional. The derivational can be prefixes or suffixes. The inflectional are just different. That helps. Have a word with 5 morphemes. I just said unconstitutional was 4, right? Unconstitutionally 4, yeah. What about unconstitutional? Unconstitutional. Unconstitutionality. You couldn't think of 5? Think harder. Okay, as long as you know what morphemes are. That's good enough. We're gonna get started. Pragmatic, oh. What's the next one? Messed me up. Questions so far? If you get the meanings of these 5 aspects, it becomes easier for you to build on them and to read the chapters on them because they'll keep coming back again. So we talked about morphemes already. Pragmatics. This is the practical aspect of using language, to be verbal and verbal. Because in different contexts, the same utterances might have different meanings. The situation will actually determine what meaning is perceived by those who are listening. As the child listens to conversation within a family setting, in the classroom or at home, they learn the context, the kind of words that go in the context and the meanings that are drawn from them. That's why you have social registers. There's language that is more like business, language that is more like, give me a few words that have to do with the medical field. Prescription, okay. What did you say? Sorry? The medical field. I'm talking about registers here. I mean, okay, forget about that. That'll take us way out of this. Let's forget about that. I'll come back to it later though. Let's talk about just social registers. When something is said within a certain context, it means one thing. If that same thing is said in another context, it may mean another. Can you think of a practical example that happened to you? Somebody say something, your context in the mind was totally different and there was miscommunication. It happens. Yeah, please.
I guess if someone says, "Oh, call this person," it could be this next.
Okay, if you're talking about, if the context is about making phone calls, you'll pick up the phone to call. But if it is probably at a distance where you're to find where someone else, you're going to use your voice to try and reach that person. The context determines the meaning of call. Thank you for that. What's your name again? Yeah. Yes, please.
Sort of like comedy, like there's companies how they're saying one thing and someone else is thinking something else.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy is really good for that. Yeah. Comedy is really, really good for that because some things may be, comedians can say something intentionally so that it is misunderstood. And it's so funny when they do that. I'm not even talking about puns, but just the situation. Yeah.
I said that
Yeah.
like that. Knows what's going on so well. Like say something right. Lesson. So he said something one day, and I went, "Family, you're so smart. You can teach the class."
Yeah.
And he really said, "Okay." And got up and came to the front of the board and like counted out what we were doing, wrote the number.
He missed the joke.
And I felt like saying it. I was like, it was so cute, but in my head I was like, "No, I think what I say."
Right, right. Okay, so it means that joking is part of it. Yes. So the context actually determines the meaning. So let's go systematically so we won't any time. Time is flying here. Now think about okay. You went to a restaurant, maybe a new restaurant in the neighborhood. you know, everybody's talking about it, so you and your friends have gone there. And you really did not think it was that great. Didn't like the food or something about it, not just, you know, to get a positive feelings about it. Tell your boss at work, how would you say it to your boss? Please, everybody talk. We need to use the time as much as we can, maximize life. Somebody say something. How would you tell your boss? Okay, let me open it up. Think of ways you would tell your boss, or ways you would tell your grandmother, or ways you would tell your 2-year-old, or how would you tell your classmate? Pick any of these and say, to my classmate, I would say this. But the meaning is the same. You didn't like something about the restaurant. What you kind of really didn't like, you didn't think it was that great. Everybody's talking about it, but say, oh, not for me. How would you say that? Yeah. The food was yucky. The child would get it. Oh, yucky. All right. Would you say that to your boss? How would you say it to your boss? Did I say hand at the back? Yeah, please.
My grandma, I would say, I did not like it. I would rather come to like,
Oh, your food is better. I hear grandmothers a lot about, I mean, grandmothers cooking a lot about that. That's right. Your cooking is much better. How would you say, to,
For class, maybe probably.
such as? Thank you so much. That is so, you cannot imagine what I hear all the time in class about this. Yes,
Sandra,
Sandra, yeah,
maybe to the boss, it would be more like direct of, I don't recommend that restaurant.
exactly.
It's not good.
Thank you. That's it. Okay, anybody else? But you get the point, right? Okay. Word grandmother to your, yeah. Now, the rest of this, it's really just practice that you can put together. The things that you can do on your own, I leave them to until we have a question, we come back to me, we have more than happy to answer. Why? Because we cannot, we don't have time to have a class, especially because I changed some of these modules to the couple class that next week. And then the second class in that module don't come, right? So only the basics, the class, that you can understand. Then things that you can do your own higher. Looking at this slide, you think you cannot do this time. More than happy to tell, but we can do well, but it's about the same thing. Yeah. So, I'm going to go right to the website because that's how you access the journal. Go to content. That's the module one of us podcast, but I'm in introduction. And then with that, oh, this is something else you can do on your own. That's it. Can do that. Very easy, very straightforward. You can have a look at it. I'll let you know what it is. Well, I'm gonna try to bring it up. Hold on. What have we not done? What? Okay. Before we get to this, say something. Say a word, anybody, any word. Cooking. Okay, I like that. Cooking. All right. When you say cooking, everybody just say cooking to yourself and feel your mouth. Feel your mouth. What parts of your mouth are touching to say, cook? Feel it, say it and feel it. Yeah, what parts of your mouth? Is it the teeth? Is it the tongue? Is it the throat? What is it? Okay, so that. Another word, another word. Let's get another word.
People.
People, thank you. People, say people, fill your mouth. What parts of your mouth are producing that word? Lips, okay. Anything else?
Tongue.
The tongue, is it saying, what is it doing, people? At the end, kind of, okay. Thank you. Let's get another word. Tomorrow. Oh, I like that. Tomorrow. Okay, say that to yourself and feel the articulators in your mouth. Articulators. These speech apparatus in your mouth. Tomorrow. What parts of your mouth are you using? What speech parts? I mean, what parts of your mouth? Teeth. Okay. Tongue. What else? Are you using your lips? Okay. Okay. With that, we're ready to move on. Look at this. Everybody. You falling asleep, somebody? Why is somebody yelling? Okay, look at this now. Look at that diagram. Look at it long enough to tell me what it is. On your computer or on my screen, doesn't matter. What is that? Right? Vocal tract? Okay, vocal tract. Okay. What is the outline? Correct? Okay, there are two cavities there. So it's the mouth. Actually, these are the speech apparatus. These are the parts of your mouth that you use to produce sound. There are two cavities. We have the oral cavity right here, where when air flows through freely, you produce what kinds of sounds? What is that? Vowels, yes. When air flows freely through your mouth, it produces vowels, right? When you constrict some of the speech apparatus, you produce consonants. Thank you. When you constrict parts of your speech apparatus, you produce consonants. What are they? What could those be? Name them. That's sorry. I can look on your computer. Oh, you're looking here. This is, I cannot make this slide or get this off, but I don't know how. Okay. You have what? Lips? You have teeth? You have what? The tongue has many different parts of it. From the back, the dorsum, to kind of the back a little center, to the blade, to the tip. And those produce different sounds. When you say k, 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 like cat, or cook, or cookie, what part of the tongue are you using? When you say sleep, sleep, what part of your tongue are you using? The front, that's very close to the blade. When you say tip, tip. Okay. So these are the speech apparatus we use to produce sound. There is no animal on earth that uses the apparatus that. That's why we say speech is inevitable. You're going to use like 2 minutes of using this, turn around, work with a partner, and produce a sound and identify, your partner identifies the parts of the speech apparatus that you're using. Listen for them. Turn around and do it.
Yeah, sounds like a snack. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds.
Walk.
Yeah. Rocket.
Like lips.
So. There might be the tip of the top of the mouth for some of the R sound. Yeah. It's like happening in here. Hmm. Hmm. The T sounds silent. It's silent.
All right. What parts of the mouth do you use more?
The tongue.
The tongue. Yes. So flexible. Produces so many sounds. Different parts. What else do you use more?
The lip.
What else? The upper part. The mouth. The alveolary. Behind the teeth. The alveolary. The mouth. Use the mouth cavity quite a bit. When you produce sounds by passing air through the nose, you produce nasal sound. Nasal sound. You don't allow air out of the mouth. What sounds can you produce? Oh, I heard it. Say that again louder. Thank you. I just introduced something really important. If you don't have these slashes, it's not speech sound. It is the letter M. But these slashes here identify as sound. And when you're writing sounds on a quiz or on an exam, it doesn't have the slashes, you'll be surprised to get it wrong. Yes. Okay, what other sound do you produce when air passes through the nose and not through the mouth? It's one of them. There's another one. Sorry?
N.
We're talking about the letter N. I'm talking sound. So it is. Yes. What else? There's one more. There's only 3 nasal sounds. Okay. There's only 3 nasal sounds. Not more. Not one more. What is the third one? No. It's all the time. things.
What is it?
Is it overeating, eating, sleeping? Yes.
The letter.
No, it's, you cannot use letters. This is not alphabet. This is phonetic alphabet. It's a totally different way of looking at life. I'll give you an example. I guess we can get rid of this now. Okay. Or how do you pronounce those words? That one. Can you say that again, louder? Did it like the first time. Say that again. Huh? Yes. Oh my God. This is the first time I've heard someone come so close. I hear Nyombi, I hear Ngombi, I hear all kinds of things, but like, it's Ngombe. Can you say no? No, not go. No. Ngombe means cow in Swahili. Ngombe, can you say ngombe? Yeah, I heard some correct pronunciation. What about this one? Means abroad. Ngambo. Nga. Can you say nga? Nga? You see, you can do it. Nga. So what is that sound? There is no one letter for that. And when you, in orthography, when you're writing, you kind of put that to show that it's that hang before the vowel. So that is that sound. So these three are the nasal sounds. There is no other nasal sound. If you find it, let me know. Those are the nasal sounds. Only three. Do you use the nasal sounds often when you use language? Anytime you use the gerund. ING. Yeah, you use it a lot. All right. So now that you're familiar with that, let's go a little bit further. Now, this is the International Phonetic Alphabet. I'm going to make this bigger. Well, you have it closer to you, but you can go with this one. I'm going to remove this one because it doesn't give me the little box. For the one. And just place it back. Okay. Now, there is something known as IPA. Have you heard of it before? IPA is International Phonetic Alphabet. Yes, it is alphabet. We're so hooked on writing and everything is about the 26 letters. Forget it. We're talking phonetic alphabet now. And the reason we're talking about this is because young children start learning to produce those sounds very systematically. Some of them start early, some of them come later, some of them are distorted. You may think, oh, my child needs to go to speech therapy. No, it's developmental. The child another month, the child will get there. Okay. For example, if you say ba 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 and papa, try saying those two and tell me which one is easier for babies. Pa 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 or ba 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 ba. Why? I agree. Ba 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 is easier than pa pa pa. Why? Think about the muscle babies. When are you using more muscle strength? When you say pa 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 or ba ba ba. Right, and the child is not there yet. So ba 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 is easier. Now, pa 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 is ba ba ba. What are you using? Lips. So it is bilateral, two lips. Okay, ba ba ba. And then it is a plosive. What do you mean plosive? Something that you hold air and release suddenly. Plosive, like exploding. Okay? And then it is voiced or voiceless. You said ba is easier than pa pa pa. Ba is voiced. No. Ba is voiced, pa is voiceless. Now, in describing sounds, we start with the voicing, whether it is voiced or voiceless. And then we go to the manner. Manner is this like here. Where in the mouth is it produced? And then we go to the place of production and then the manner of production. So, ba is voiced by labial process. That is the name of the sound. Pa is voiceless by labial process. Why are we saying voice and voiceless? Feel your vocal cords when you say the two sounds and see when do your vocal cords vibrate. When you're saying pa 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 or ba ba ba. When do they vibrate? But yes, when the vocal cords vibrate, that's a voiced sound. When they don't, it's voiceless. So for that, for ba ba ba, it's voiced by labial process. And that is voiceless by labial process. Okay, let's go back. We're moving from front to back of the mouth. This is the front. We're moving back that way. This is just behind the teeth. Tell me how you describe this sound using the same thing. Voicing, place in the mouth, and manner. How would you label that? Let's start with da da da, which is easier for me. Da da da. How would you label that? Is it voiced or voiceless? Voice, right? Okay. And where is it produced? Tells you at the top of the column. Alveolar. Yes, so it is a voiced alveolar. And how is it produced? By holding and releasing it, or by free flow air? How is it produced? It's a plosive. So the description is what? Perfect. It's a voiced alveolar plosive. And the counterpart of that is what? Voiceless alveolar plosive. Voiceless when the vocal cords don't vibrate, voiced when the vocal cords vibrate. Okay, go ahead and describe sounds that you produce when you say car or gap. And go. How do you describe those? Produce the sound and how you describe it. I'm just introducing this. I'm not going to take you through all the sounds. I'm just introducing so you get the logic of it, and then we can move on to our development. Yeah. And describe G or K. Where is it produced? Looking at the chart. Where is it? Where in the mouth? Sorry? Villa. Yes, villa. Is it voiced? Okay, which one of them? G and K. Produce one and say whether it's voiced or voiceless. Voiced. G is voiced one. It's three things. Voiced, velar, plosive. Thank you. It's a voiced, velar, plosive. And its counterpart is voiceless, velar, plosive. That is correct. Now, we just start three key sounds. And for young children, okay, one more. The nasal sounds, I named those three. Those are These are the ones you see, it's variations of the same. It's really just variations, but those are the names. Do children produce sounds a lot? The nasal sound. Do children produce those? Quite a bit, right? Are they voiced or voiceless? Are they voiced or voiceless? They're voiced, yes, you can feel the vibration. And the other row I want to introduce is fricatives. Fricatives, you can see there are so many variations of them, and not necessarily all of them in English. Some of these are in other languages. I cannot even use them, like in South African, I can't use that. But it's part of this, the process. Look at the fricatives. These are sounds that are produced when there is continuous flow of air passing through closely constricted parts of the mouth. For example, of, of, again, it's voice versus voiceless, okay? And it can be bilabial, well, those are hard produced in English. Most, the easier ones for English are actually the labiodental ones. The labiodental, like, well, how would you describe that, those two? What would you say that is? Given our formula. Voice or voiceless? Voice. Voice to what? Labiodental what? Thank you. It's a voice labiodental fricative. You're starting here and coming in even voice or voiceless. If that is voiceless, labiodental, then it is fricative. What about that one? It's counterpart. Voice, labiodental, fricative. What about this? What is this sound here? So I can think something. It's also a fricative. Tongue and teeth. You can see it is dental. The fricative. This is the voiceless. The voice is. You have those are English. What are they? That's the voiceless labiodental. Sorry. This is alveolar. Voice, alveolar, fricative, and the counterpart is voiceless and alveolar fricative. Let's do two more. This here. How do you pronounce those? It's post-alveolar. What is this sound? Shh. Yeah. Shh. And its counterpart is just jump. Okay. The reason for this is never for you to catch and understand this alphabet. It's a whole different world. But it's important for you to know when you're working with young children, the sounds in the front of the mouth tend to develop earlier than the sounds in the back of the mouth. Be it plosive, be it nasal, be it, I'm not even talking about the children, there are too many variations of it. Be it fricative. The sounds in the front of the mouth, as you saw that diagram, are easier for babies. Now think of a child who's trying to say cat. Cat. They know they see the cat, they know the meow, and they know the word. They're trying to say cat in their brain. They are saying cat. Even that they're not there yet, because they're still using the front of the mouth more than the back of the mouth. What sound will come up? Try say and then push it forward and see where it is. What did the child say instead? So instead of cat, what did we hear? Yes. Yeah. So if the child says cat, it's not a problem. Don't do speech therapy. It's developmental. With time, the maturity gets the back, and that sound will come up right. That's just one example. And there's so many other examples. As long as you know the logic from front to back, easier in the front, harder in the back. Voiced is easier, voiceless is harder because of the muscle power that is needed to produce the voices.
So when you hear an older child say text, they probably need the speech because they're
Yes.
already.
When they're there, when you know they should be there, yes. Oh, my son used to say "mombe, mombe" for cow instead of "mombe, mombe," and he was a teenager. Then, what did you say, Frank? He said, "Oh, mombe." Then he would know. He said that but he's kind of doing it the easy way. Sometimes they just do it because they like it that way. But if you know that they really can't, then they probably need practice, just so they. Okay. I don't want to spend too much time on this. This you have on the 12 is again phonics alphabet, and these are the examples of how they pronounce the sheep. That's the front of here, the front of the mouth. E, high, central, low, same mouth for vowels. This is high, that is low. And then there's mid, and then there is back. If you say June, you can feel it's really high in back. If you say E, it's high front and text. You can feel it. So those are easy, but the text one can also affect. So this is for you to play with. You have the examples of words in here. We'll have we'll have a few items just to make it practice. Not really to get everything in your head because you have the information available. And to make it easy for you when you start writing those things, when you need to answer questions about sound, you have some of the alphabet made available for you, just copy and paste. Okay, you want to take a break? Please. 10 minutes for that. Somebody's not coming. You want to go home early, right? I don't want to promise. Sometimes I cannot keep my promise. Everyone's very nice. That's good. Write down a word of your choice. Make it as complex as possible so that you have much sounds. Not too long, but as long as you have the choice of sounds in. Vowels and consonants. Just one word. You got it written down? Okay. Now, that one word, you're going to identify two consonant sounds. Write them separately as sounds. With the slash. If you don't use the slashes, they're level. Speech sounds always have those two slashes. So from your word, choose two consonants. Get consonants. Write them separately as two consonants. Consonant sounds. For example, if I say table, I would have slash in between. I have T, that's one consonant. I would have another one slash, and I have T. So get two consonants. Can you get a vowel? Actually two, but if it is hard, one is good. Get a vowel from that word and write it in slashes as well. Got it done? Okay. Fast thinkers. Now you have, can you get a second vowel from that word? That's a stretch. Okay, choose any other vowel. Right. Slash. That means sound. So now you have your four speech sounds, right? Okay. Look at this diagram and see where they're produced. Just by looking at the diagram. Your first consonant and then your second consonant. Where is it produced? Start producing it and feel the speech apparatus in your mouth. And then identify two age groups. One, an age of a child who would not be able to produce that. And another, a child who's older who would be able to produce that. Just write it down. Maybe 1-year-old wouldn't be able to, maybe 2-year-old. And you don't have to have you don't have to be perfect. Just having a sense of age. Got it done? You got two consonants from your word. You got a vowel, maybe two, one from your word, maybe one from another place. You're looking at the mouth cavity and trying to figure out what they are produced. And you're thinking, what age of child would be able to produce this sound? What age would not be able to produce this sound? And then you're going down this diagram here. You're describing your two consonants and your two vowels using this alphabet. Write it down. Describe each one of them by writing down the three words that describe. Don't forget the slash is right side. We got your one word, got your two consonants from that word, got your two vowels or one vowel from that word, and another vowel. You're looking to look at the mouth cavity, just so where they're first. Now you're describing them in this chart the way we did. The description part is very important. Voicing, either voiced or voiceless, and then place of articulation somewhere in the mouth, and then manner of articulation. How they sound. And then you go back and cross-check your reason for thinking that the child, this age would be able to, this age wouldn't be. Just think about it, not necessarily change it. And the last thing you're doing about that, you're sharing with the partner, they're sharing theirs and you're sharing yours to see if you got it right. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to help, and we make sure that doesn't take more than 2 minutes.
I still think a P and
What did you choose?
so. I like E. So I like E, but I don't feel yeah, I think the P is the first one, and then the N would be that's
Yeah, it was, but it was definitely not as like. Yeah. So great. That's why like there's some really what basically. I was like, you know, my like my Tesla was like, it wasn't that. Right. Okay, so I use complicated.
Okay.
The word. So my consonant was C.
Okay.
But now, should that one be K because of the? Oh, okay.
That's a dangerous one.
A sound.
No, it's the sound. Or it's the K sound.
Got
K.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
The sound of the letter. Don't think letters, think sounds. This is a totally different alphabet. Don't think letters, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, did you get it right? Let's check in with your partner. Let's just have a few examples. Then I'm not got it right. If you're so confident, share it. But even if you're not confident, share it. Anybody wants to go first? Anybody? Okay, go ahead, please.
My word is parental.
Parental. That's clever. Okay, parental. Okay. What are your consonants?
R
Those are not those. Okay. R and
R
and okay. Actually, there is a trail. Okay, let's see what you know about that. I think let's talk about it. Okay, go ahead.
for R.
It is an alveolar trill, yes. There are so many variations of this, I didn't even bother talking about it. Okay, it's an alveolar trill, that's correct.
And also alveolar nasal.
Okay. Okay. Yes, it is.
Right.
Yes.
And I see vowels in this chart.
You couldn't see what?
Vowels, no vowels in the chart, right?
Not this one, the one below. Okay. As I said, this is high, this is low. So this is high tense. E as in eat or see or pee or feel. Yes, this is central, it's more relaxed. This is A as in egg, A as in cat, I as in cut. So the mouth opens more that way. And then when you go that way, it's back. Like off, like cough, like off, like boom. You'll get used to it because you use them anyway. Just imagine the triangle with your mouth. You'll feel where they're coming from. But the good thing about vowel is that they're all voiced. Okay, you don't have to say voicing or what or voiceless. Just say high front tense or mid vowel. These are easier. Okay, let's focus on the consonants. Thank you for getting us started and thank you for using the trill. I didn't talk about that. Anybody else wants to go? Hello, anybody? You could have taken T, right? You said parental, right? You could have taken T. I thought we'd take those easy ones. Anybody else wants to share? Even if you're not confident they're perfect, it's okay to share. Okay. Katia? Sorry, backed?
That.
Okay. Did you say pack?
Back.
B-A-C-K-E-D?
Back.
Fact. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
So the accent, I said voiceless, so that's not.
Yes, it is voiceless, labiodental fricative. Yes, I think it's fact. Fact. Okay.
And then the spirit sound is voiceless. Alveolar plosive.
Voiceless alveolar plosive, that is correct. Okay. The vowels, you learn slowly how to pronounce this. Last one. We had plosive, we had fricatives. Anybody nasal sound? There was a nasal sound in the voice. Okay, as long as you know how to use the term, if you're describing something. Okay. Let's make this right. Feel frustrated just before we go. So you don't need to carry this in your head, believe me, because this chat is available, it's gonna leave on picture activities. What I want to do now is transition from this song. We'll keep coming back because as we learn about these 5 aspects, chronology will come back again and again. I want you to go to Guides for Writing Workshops. Guides for Writing Workshops. I'm using the website so it's easier for you to do exactly what I'm saying. Now, click on the first one. You may want to download it. And we're going to do a writing workshop. Towards the end of class, we'll always do writing workshop for 10 minutes. What is a writing workshop? Writing workshop is writing that you do with a partner, maybe with 2 people. Group is very important. Somebody else's brain is very important. And you're doing it around an assignment. It's aimed at helping you understand the assignment clearly. So you're not supposed to answer these questions. These questions are supposed to trigger your thinking. And you're writing notes on that particular assignment. In this case, it's what? Group, it's on child observation. Okay, about the child observation, which is a major assignment. So you're going to get with at least 2 other people. So 3 is really is a good number. You can have 4 if you want. And you're going to talk about that. As you talk about it, you're writing notes. These questions are guiding your notes. Your notes will give you detail about that. If you think this is clear enough on your mind, thank you. You save your time. Go to the next one. Okay. You can decide to do a writing workshop on another assignment. When we talked about the observation so much today, probably you don't want to do that. Let's go to journal article review. Okay. Let's talk about this so that I actually write notes. That's it. I want to write notes on this one, so let's talk about it. Okay, so you read the questions, talk about it, you write your own notes. Sometimes you can write on the same document, a Google document, and you keep it. Everybody has access to it. The 2 of you or the 3 of you have access to that. So as you add notes on that, everybody sees it. One of you can start a Google document and keep writing. By the end of 10 minutes, you have a much better understanding of the assignment. So let's use the next 10 minutes for writing workshop, which is required for this writing test. 3 or 4 people. 4 is good because I think there's 16. So 4 is a good number. You can start a Google document. You can write on your own. Everybody takes their notes separately, but writing on the same document is very helpful and everybody has access to it. Okay, let's give it 10 minutes. It's good practice. Let me assure you that. Two people is not enough. 2 people is not enough. Absolutely. This is not a paired activity. 3 or 4. I think it should be 4 because that's 15 people. So 2 more people for you guys. You want as many ideas as possible. If you start a Google Doc and everyone writes on it, that's enough.
Polar nature.
If you write your notes separately, that's also okay with me. Just get started.
The article.
Choose what assignments you want to do workshop writing. Doesn't have to be the first one.
Questions, graduate. Yeah, you might want to have it pulled up just so that you can.
That's fine.
So we're doing it on the journal
Okay, please
article.
stop. Keep going.
The journal article. Then we-
These actually look like you're working with a group. Yeah? Don't make your classmates turn their back and do their twist. Okay. Yeah. Would it be easier for us? Yeah, because I just put that. Or please, what is that about? Of the veteran of the question.
So the first
What
one's
is that?
an infant toddlers.
But it's the yeah.
It's include information about young English language learners and or technology and language development and or language delays.
What should have been?
Know how to find out.
Yeah.
I used it.
The library was right.
So that.
Yeah.
We're supposed to do.
No, I think we're just talking about it just to make sure that we all understand.
Yeah, just make sure you all understand and write notes. So write notes. That's why I'm saying you can slide or you open it. Put up with everybody has. And so on that, you write your own question. You know how
You
to
looked
start
up
a-
Yeah,
articles before?
I
Yeah,
just need to like find the article for it
Yeah.
to start.
Well, it gives us an idea of what to look for. These groups like applicants. It's be either on language learner, technology, language development, language delays. That's like something we can kind of pull up.
So each of them.
We're gonna be looking for 3 articles.
Forgive me, I forgot, my printouts on my data at home, I did not bring this, sign-in sheet.
Oh, no, yeah, sorry.
So please write your
I was-
name.
You know what I
Where
was,
it was that I can get it, so I can mark you when I get home. You get 4, you can be somewhere inside.
because in our list that we did before this week, the same thing. And we're doing 3 articles for, Kenneth or something like that. So I was like, wait, a minute, three. It's very similar. Summarize. Paragraph.
I think it's inside. Right there. Ready? Or each lady is gonna have to go over the print. It's like. You can try. Well, I have no hope it can do. It's like. That's all I can do. Yeah. Oh, my.
Right.
Oh, you put.
Well, it's same format.
Yeah.
This is literally how we're gonna have to do it for our other class. We have to critique it, where we agree, disagree.
I have a problem with like putting my own opinion where
If that's
facts. Yeah. She said twice. No. Not.
Just summary.
That's where Emily comes into play.
You can look at 3 times for people. And then that is I do it.
Did you guys say?
Just like, I think it's to
So like. Does say or whatever. So it's just like
If I had questions.
you put that aside, yes, us.
Yeah.
He would for argument about it and figure it out. So we're writing out verification. Make sure they just.
Like, what do you do when you, why are you not? Especially like for, like, they're so good. That's really- I know there's the feedback and I'll like sit it, and my iPad, it's kind of like this, and it's good. What do you
Done it
do?
once, bring it for one class.
There's always doing for.
I'm just like.
What you want to discuss. Yeah. So like, observation. So not in classrooms, but a different. We can't go and look at our own.
Yeah, that's.
The feature paper.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah.
It's just like.
So it's basically like your paper, you'll be able to say.
The next one.
So we do the presentation. At the same time. So. they do the presentation.
Yeah, she goes to, but she.
Yeah, that's not just take it 1 week at a time. Then it's just too overwhelming. So that's all I'm doing, take it a week at a time. Because it's. Yeah. Guess for like a better word. Than the other ones. The other two. Hey.
And I go back to the syllabus, the description of the assignment. That way. Whatever assignment you're writing, we'll talk about. then go back to the syllabus to read the description of it. It's very important to understand it clearly.
How are you preparing for the big conversation? How we have is you persevere and do that.
Something else.
But this is like compared with the other.
That's what I'm telling you. That's why. Yeah, yeah. But I think in the other one, it's
Like how team.
so intense. It's so intense.
How we do it, because if you stuck in one, gonna be like, you use up like.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's very similar. The only difference I think is in our other case, we're doing it.
We're doing this one.
No, you're doing this. This is just the group right now that we're discussing, but yeah, it's just for us to discuss it. But the assignment is. But for our other class, we are doing it as a group, so.
And that's really interesting. And so it's like. So that's great. Okay. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, it's gonna. So we're just trying to figure out like when the best time is, as well as like, I could definitely stay ready for regular educations.
For the observation video. Mine instead of physically going to record. Okay, so next week, we're here the 31st, but we're not here the 7th in person. Okay.
You're
Trying to finish writing workshop by the end of it. Well,
Dr. Mushi, for the observation, do you want us to physically go somewhere and record for the observation, or would you accept a video if we find one? Like, we obviously,
Is the start.
excuse me, sorry.
During COVID, I kind of let that work okay.
Okay.
Because there is the feedback part, the caregiver that was responsible. So yes, I want you to go somewhere, observe a child, and you can do the next time the family is saying. Observe you're observing the caregiver interacting with the child. Your interest is not on the caregiver, they can talk all they want, but the target is the child. And you're not recording yourself, you're only recording the child.
Right.
But once you can see on the sporting guide, there is a requirement for discuss with the kids, some suggestions for the kids.
Okay.
Cheryl, have a question? If you cannot find somebody?
No, if we're able,
Mhm.
are they able to record themselves?
Oh, that would be perfect, but then,
Send it to you?
oh yeah, yes, that is possible. If they can record themselves, as long as you're paying attention to the chat, I don't care who does the recording. In fact, that would even remove you from the picture completely, which is good. During COVID, you know how we did the assignment? Observations in Mexico. One observation was done in Mexico, the other one was done in India. Yes, over video. You know, somebody called somebody somewhere, they knew they could actually do the observation. It worked. Technology. Yeah. So, yes, you can have someone else record as long as you have the interaction of the child with the caregiver, not the child by himself or himself, with caregiver. Okay. You want to see that interaction. The caregiver will be prompting the child. So the questions or gestures are important, but it is the child who produces the utterances for you to identify the 5 aspects of it. All right. Did you do something useful in this? Actually, 15 minutes. I said 10, but it was 15. Do you find that helpful? It is required for this course. Writing workshops are required. And when you do a Google Doc, did you do a Google Doc, anybody? It's very helpful because everybody writes on there. And if you did one assignment today, you can do another assignment next week. That way, you really begin to see light in the course. I want to show you something real quick. In module 1, there is this activity here, which is so. Oh, no. The 5 aspects. I don't think it is worth class time doing this because it's so straightforward. It's exactly what I started doing. The study itself. You can do this on your own, even though it's involved with a partner. The more you practice this, the more confident it becomes. I have module 2 uploaded already. And the modules are ahead of time. So allow those one to run, you know, with their pace and go ahead. The one ahead of time, familiarizing the content. That way, for module 2, we have so much. Now, this is where I have the proprietary class of the. Oh, this is a short PowerPoint. Can go look at it. This is a class activity. It's also straightforward. This is a key area diversity and we have to do that. Now, for the class activity, if this because we only have one class meeting per month, I will only highlight the most important things that is here. And the things that you can do on your own, I will leave it for the first class if you don't come here. You stay home and do the work on your own. You're designing your reflective journal, maybe doing your journal article review, maybe completing something you haven't looked at. My point is, if you go ahead and look at the materials ahead of time, you have better understanding of the class. If you see it for the first time here, while you have been sitting on each one for 2 weeks, it's pretty away from the material. So try and see what it is. So when I go over it, I kind of answer the questions you have in your mind rather than introduce the topics. That works very well for you. So try to find time because you know that we will not have a second class for the second module. Like the second module only 1 class. So I will go over the basics only and everything else I did. I'm assuming you'll be able to try it on collaborate however you want. You don't have to be physically together to do it, but you can collaborate with other people. Any general question, overall question, concern? The quiz, I'll post it 24 hours before. Watch the videos. And for the discussion, watch the videos too. Actually, video one, please. The quiz is only, it's about what we discussed in module one, nothing hard. I don't think the sounds like quiz two. You're not ready for the sounds. So that'll be on the next. Any more, anything you want me to clarify, elaborate? Okay, okay. The initial posting, Friday, and then the peer responses the following Friday. Your A is intact. Keep your A intact. Agreed? I would love to have 16 A's at the end of the semester, and I know you love them too. Thank you for your time and participation. I'll see you next week. Right here. Yeah. Next week. Bye. Bye.